Welcome to the SpeedStudio podcast, where art accelerates business, design drives performance, and we explore the culture of speed with athletes, business leaders, and creatives who define it. Welcome to the SpeedStudio podcast, episode 131. Are we going to stop doing this at episode 200, or are we just going to keep this rolling for the rest of our lives?
I don't know. Why do we do that?
I don't know.
You know, there's a lot of podcasts that don't put their episodes at all. It's just like the title.
Yeah.
But I think that's also because they don't do that many.
Yeah, I like keeping track of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the ones that do it consistently all put their episodes on there. Because it's a badge of honor, you know.
It is, yeah.
131 straight weeks.
I cannot
give or
tell
take.
you.
There have been a couple that we've missed due to illness, but otherwise, man, that's a lot of weeks.
I can't tell you how many people recently have proclaim that they're going to start a podcast, and then I'm waiting.
Yep.
I'm waiting for the podcast because I want to support.
Yep.
And then it never happens, or like one episode happens, and I'm like, it is difficult to be consistent with a podcast. But
well, you can't do it alone.
But I'm also like, what? Well, you can. There's a lot of people who do podcasts alone. But
They just talk by themselves? That's psycho.
I mean, Dylan Johnson does that.
Really?
Most of his videos are alone.
Yeah, but it's YouTube and it's like production. You can see stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's different than just an audio podcast of someone just talking.
It is hard to do a solo podcast, but
you got to really, really, really like talking to yourself to do that. And you got to
or you just have to have a lot to say.
Yeah. Yeah, have a topic.
So I did have a thought the other day, like on advertising, because we talked about it before, like how we don't want to just have advertisements because it's annoying.
Yeah.
But then I was like, if we had some of like the local races, like gravel races, trail races, road races, and we did advertisements at the beginning or the end. So like, let's say like this trail race that I went to over the weekend, if they wanted to, I mean, they're really tiny, so I don't think they would pay money.
Yeah.
But some of the bigger ones, like some of the ones that have like, 10, 20 different trail races.
Yeah.
They might be like, oh, I'll pay some money to have them be like, this, advertise the trail race that's coming up or the gravel race. That could make sense.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense because then they're making money off your listenership. They're going to register to go to
Yeah,
that
and we
race.
could give like a code or something, so if they see the value, then that was one thing that I was like, I feel like that would be valuable to the audience.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost like a valuable advertisement.
Exactly.
Right.
Because think about it, like even homegrown gravel, I guarantee they had a ton of people, but I guarantee there's still people out there that either they didn't know about it in time to register and it just snuck up on them. But if we talked about things coming up,
yeah, that's a good point.
in the future that we enjoy doing, maybe that would make sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was my random thought of the morning.
Spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung.
Life is anew.
It is short weather. Legs are out.
Legs are out. Shorts. You gotta shave your legs again. I guess you don't ever stop.
I never stop.
But you cycling.
Although there are some girls that I have friends that are like, I haven't shaved my legs all winter, and I'm like, that just would annoy me because I like to have the smooth legs. But to each their own.
It's so nice though. It's like so the time change over the weekend. Obviously, it was your birthday, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this is always circled in my calendar for as long as I can remember when the time changes. When the time springs forward, life has changed. Yes, flowers are blooming, the birds are singing. Everyone knows that we can ride outside in the afternoon, in the morning. It's beautiful.
Do we want to talk about our friend's big victory?
Huge weekend for cycling. All the way around, cycling and running. Huge weekend. Shout out goes to our boy Luke Lamperti for his first World Tour win, first stage of Paris-Nice. I actually have the second stage streaming as we speak. There's 19 kilometers to go.
Oh, that's what you're watching? I was like, what are you watching?
He is in the yellow jersey, and it looks awesome on him. We are so proud and could not be happier that Luke had the big win. We believed in him. We knew he could do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's his first big win, World Tour win, but also it's with his new team, EF Pro Cycling and Education First Pro Cycling. And that, to me, if I'm the team owner, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Because, all these guys and girls, it's all an investment.
Yeah, Jonathan Vaughter said that. I mean, he knew, he came out. I saw I was reading an article. He was like, we knew he was going to win this year. We knew he was going to have a breakthrough win. And we've been saying, first weekend, Omloop and Kern Brussels Kern, he was top 10 on both races.
I mean, this is still early season, so.
And just for our listeners, so Luke provides SpeedStudio Europe, our service course, because Michael stays with Luke when he's been staying with Luke for the last few weeks. They've been training together.
Sorry, Luke.
We're sorry, Luke. And they've been training together. And Michael's putting huge numbers, and I know Luke's putting huge numbers, and it's because they're kicking each other's ass. And we've been watching from afar. And I actually talked to them on Thursday because I thought Luke was going to race Strade Bianchi, which we'll talk about that in a minute, because he did last year. And he's like, no, I'm going to Paris-Nice this year. And I was like, how are you feeling? He's like, pretty good.
And so this is
pretty good.
This is a stage race. So, yesterday when they were interviewing him, and everyone can go back and watch this, but it was a sprinter stage. Obviously he's a sprinter. He's the Criterium national champion. So huge sprint, huge watts, but he's like, sometimes sprinters will be like, well, this was nice while I had the jersey, but tomorrow's a mountain stage or tomorrow's a time trial or whatever it is. And they kind of like accept that they might not keep the jersey. Yeah. But I loved his mindset. He's like, no, I'm keeping this jersey as long as I can.
He's going to fight for it.
Like,
all
I'm
the way.
going to have to do whatever I've got to do. And I think that's awesome. I think it's admirable. We have a lot of really great Americans doing great things over in Europe right now.
Yeah, he's not a traditional lead out sprinter. I mean, I would put him in.
He's not like a Cavendish.
Yeah, he's not a Cavendish or a Marcel Kittel type with a big train lead out. I put him in more of like the classic style sprinter, like the Tom Boonen style. Like, can get over climbs. He can get to the very tactical, very impressive bike handler. And that's the other thing too. Like Jonas Vingegaard yesterday said the course was so terrible it didn't even deserve to be a World Tour race because it was so insane.
Wow.
But that's the kind of environment that Luke and Michael Garrison thrive in. Yeah. Like they're such good bike handlers, and that's why he's able to be at the front. And there were crashes. Like being in the front is a big part of bike racing.
He missed 2 giant crashes right at the end.
And, not being afraid and pushing guys out of the way with your shoulders and bumping handlebars. A lot of those guys are not built for that.
And being confident enough that you belong there.
Yeah.
Because, I think that's, something Michael...
It's a breakthrough.
It's something Michael talked about, like, with the last, with Santivai. Even though these guys do deserve to be there and they're incredible athletes and they've put in their time, like to the average person, like if you are at the World Tour level, you have already put in your time, but there's always layers to that, like, because there's a lot of people in the World Tour that have been in the World Tour a long time. So even when you're a newer guy in the World Tour, I don't know that Luke necessarily, I'd be interesting to ask him because I feel like he's such a confident person that I don't know that he's ever had imposter syndrome of like, oh, I don't belong here. But the ability to either naturally not have that thought process or to have such confidence that you just push past that and you don't care, I think says a lot about him as a racer as well, because that's what I saw. It's like you're someone who's like, if you're going to put yourself at the front at a big race like this, you've got a lot of confidence in your ability.
Confidence and because a lot of it too is respect from the other riders.
Exactly.
So I think these top 10s, these knocking on the door, that's where that respect comes, and then that little bit of confidence comes more and more and more each time you do that. And so then it's to your point, once you get that win, it's like it turns the spigot on.
Exactly.
Then you can win at that level, and hopefully there's going to be a lot more to come from Luke.
Yeah, I think it's a flywheel, a success flywheel. Once you get it's like anything. Like you taste a little bit of success at any level, and it just gives you more confidence to go into it.
And it is it's a sign of things to come, is what we said to Michael. Again, they've been training together for the last few weeks, and I think that even happens with friends too. Like you see your friends do well, and you're like, I can do well. I can win that. I can do that. It's pretty awesome to watch. I was thinking on the walk to the studio this morning, which takes a long time because our dog's 15 years old.
She's moving slow.
I was thinking about how proud we are of these kids that we've literally watched grow up.
Yeah.
Like watching Michael as a junior on Lux, and all of these kids like Luke and Magnus Sheffield, and like all of them have done so well. And what Michael's doing also is just like, it's easy to get caught up in like the day to day, but then you like take a step back and like see them maturing and finding success. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's I think probably more so for you because you kind of look at them as like your kids.
Well, I mean, they grew up riding bikes with you. Like, I think, like Artem is another good example.
Yeah.
Like, they literally rode bikes with us as kids, and now they're performing at the highest level of the sport, whether it's gravel, whether it's World Tour racing, or even criterium racing. Like, it's pretty cool.
I have this like one, I don't know why this is like the one memory that sticks out when like I had already known Michael, but not as close as we are with him now. And it was when I was racing Tour of the Southern Highlands Tosh, which I don't think that race even exists anymore, but
No.
it was known as being like one of the hardest. Like it was a 3-day, was it 3 days?
Yes, it was stage race.
Yeah,
3 days.
I think it was 3 days. And I went up there one year and it was always in like February. It was brutally cold. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go up there by myself and I'm just going to race this thing. I don't know why I had the motivation to even do that, but just because it was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. And that was the first time I saw Michael win anything.
Yeah.
And I remember when...
Well, you'd ridden with him lots, but you never seemed like win a race.
Yeah. And I thought like that was... I was waiting at the finish line when he came through. And again, like we knew each other, but he was still like a little kid to me. And there was all these like younger guys, which he was so young. But we're talking about like, how old would he have been? Like
teenager.
17?
Yeah.
16?
16, 17.
So then there was all these
he's
like...
probably 16.
There's all these other like, 12 to 16 year olds that were all just waiting there at the end because he was on Lux at that time. And they just were like watching how much they admired him. I thought it was so cool. And I thought it was so...
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
So sweet that I was like, this kid's going to like really impact a lot of people in his life, not knowing that eventually he'd be such a big part of our lives just a few years later.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that while I was running the other day, like just how cool it is to watch that.
It
evolve.
is. That's what I'm talking about. It's like so cool to watch them grow up and find success. So keep it up, guys, all of you.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Michael's day at Strade?
Yeah, I had so many questions from people about why is Michael at Strade Bianchi. So Michael went to Strade Bianchi because Cask asked him to come. They were obviously a big sponsor of Strade Bianchi. They are every year, and they had a lot of VIPs and kind of influencer folks
They make helmets,
coming.
glasses, all that.
Yeah, sorry, they're our helmet and optics partner. And so they asked Michael to come, and be part of that kind of VIP influencer group and do some content. So he was there for fun.
Yeah.
But they also said, we want you to ride the Grand Fondo.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you can just ride it or you can race it. And I was thinking at the time, I'm like, if he pins the number one and there's a winner, he's going to race it.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any riding yet. So he... when they registered him, somehow they screw up his name. So his name didn't say Garrison. I think it was like Garriso or something.
Oh.
And he, of course, rode away from everyone. So you think about like Grand Fondos, there's a big contingent of, I'll call them like masters guys that are
Well, it's like in a marathon, the people that start in Wave A.
Yeah, like elite level masters guys, and like this is their thing. Like they have been training all winter. Like
is there prize money for the Grand Fondo?
No, I don't think there's no prize money.
This is just accolades.
It's just glory, right?
Glory.
And it's unregulated, untested. That's a whole nother thing. But to imagine these guys in that first corral. Their whole winter has been focused on this, and then this random American guy in an all-white kit basically just rides away from them, holding 400 and 500 watts for an hour.
And videoing himself talking on his phone while he's riding away from the group. Like he's literally videoing himself.
So if you saw his Instagram, it was pretty funny because the officials came up and told him that he couldn't win because he was elite. So they made him go back.
They said he had to stay behind 25 people, I think.
Right, yeah, it was pretty funny.
So he just rode at the
so that's what Michael was doing. He was having fun, and
which I get it, but at the same time, it's not for money. It's not for. I mean, I guess they just don't want. They don't want the Masters to not come back next year because they're like, well, that's not fair.
Yeah,
that's my guess. So that's fine.
But technically, like SpeedStudio presented by Basso is not an elite level UCI team.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole. Like we're not. So. Whatever.
I would love to like see the conversation in the car with the Italians when they're like trying to figure out like, who is this kid? Who is this kid? They're like panicking. And they're like, oh, okay, it's Michael Garrison. We got to tell him to go to the back.
Pretty funny.
But it looks like he had an amazing time all around. So
shot some amazing pictures of the elite field on Saturday. Go to his Instagram.
Yeah, go to his Instagram because he's killing it.
Pretty awesome there. It made me want to go to Strade Bianchi. We'd never been. We organized a trip in 2018, and you and I had to cancel because of a work obligation that came up. The rest of our friends still went, and that was the year they had like a snowpocalypse, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
So we kind of wrote it off. Like we're like, I don't want to do that.
It's just always risky, these earlier season races, because the weather can be so bad. We've kind of like, do you pay all this money to get over there and you can't even do it? But it might be worth exploring again.
It looked pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That looked really, really cool. So put that on the list for possibly 2027 outcome. Yeah,
so after all last week saying, if they just had GPX files, none of this would happen.
If they just had bike
computers, none of this would happen. At Strade Bianchi.
This never happens in cycling.
The professional women's field followed a motorbike off course.
Yes. Well, it wasn't the whole field. It was Chase Group 1. Which had the biggest stars in the race.
Yeah.
The official bike, motorbike, he just took a right. They just followed him. Now, I will say they immediately knew.
They clearly, their GPX was alerting them because at the exact same moment, they all got the same like beep, 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 like off course thing.
Yeah.
Because they all looked at their computer and then immediately turned around.
And what I love is that the guy just kept driving. Like they turned around.
Yeah.
And so, it did suck because it was up a hill.
Yeah.
So they had to like go up a hill. But he just kept driving off into the distance.
Off into the sunset. Goodbye.
After all that, this never happens in cycling.
I feel like it was our fault. When you sent that to me, I was like, oh no, we did this.
We jinxed them.
We did this to them.
SpeedStudio podcast jinxed the women's professional world tour at Strade Bianchi.
Yeah.
Hate it when that happens.
You know
what else is a big problem? Speaking of Strade Bianchi, and I wanted to mention this, World Tour cycling has a serious problem. Tadej Pogacar is too good.
He is too good.
It's not fun. I don't care about watching Strade Bianchi. The women's race was awesome.
Yeah.
The men's race is boring. He tacked at 75K out and won the race just like he does at every race. He can do it every single race. So we're now, and that's funny. Now I think about when I talked to Luke on Thursday.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not doing Strade, you're doing Paris-Nice. Are you happy about that? And he said, yeah, because Tadej's not going to be at Paris-Nice.
Yeah.
Like the other competitors don't want to race against him.
So now they're going to just be avoiding every race that he does.
Well, because it's like you
have no chance.
If he wants to win, he wins. So it's a problem. Like it's a big problem. It's almost like when Lewis Hamilton was so dominant in F1, everyone just knew what was going to happen. So no one watched.
Or Tom Brady.
No, because he didn't dominate like that. He didn't win everything.
Yeah.
It would be like if the Patriots went undefeated every single game for a decade.
Yeah.
Like that's what it would be like. That's how dominant he is.
Has there ever been a more dominant cyclist in the history of cycling?
No. Well, I mean, statistically, I think you could say Eddie Merckx. Yeah. But Eddie Merckx was racing amateurs.
Yeah.
Like he was racing guys that were drinking beer.
Yeah.
And
because it wasn't
had
formal
jobs
back then.
Yeah. But there's never been any. I mean, he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Like there's no doubt about it. He can win every kind of race. But it's boring. I think it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I
like him.
I think he's an amazing guy.
I love
for
him.
the sport. Because he seems like such a nice person, so humble.
It's crazy.
But I agree, it's kind of boring.
The women's race was really good, though. Do you know? Did you see what happened?
No, I didn't see what happened.
So it came down to 4 women going up the last climb.
Yeah.
Basically a 4-woman sprint. Elise Chabi from F2J.
Yeah.
She's Swiss. She won. But it was just like they were so exhausted. Like they were so... the amount of lactic acid that had to be in their legs while they were trying to do the sprint was incredible. And they I mean, it was
I need to go back
it was
and
very
rewatch
exciting.
It, yeah.
But the effort was insane.
I gotta get my schedule of races down because I feel like normally I'm like, okay, this weekend is this weekend's this, and like we watch it, and I feel like where we haven't been I haven't been paying as close of attention.
Well, it's the start of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, Strade Bianchi is really the first big race of the year.
But it only, I love the classics so much. There's nothing more, I know Tour de France, I know it's great, but in my opinion, there's nothing more exciting than the classics.
I agree. They're coming.
Then want to give a quick update on USA Track and Field, the drama last weekend at, or here in Atlanta at the Publix Half Marathon
Last week's
Championships.
episode.
So if you missed last week's episode, go back and listen to that because I'm not going to rehash what we talked about. But updates on the women's pro field. So Atlanta Track Club already made everything right. They paid the top 3 who crossed the finish line first. They paid them out fully. And then they paid the women who would have crossed the finish line first if there wasn't a diversion, paid them out fully as well. So it cost them twice as much money in prize money.
Yep.
It's fine. They've got a ton of money. So they made it right. So from that perspective.
And they explained why the debacle supposedly happened.
So they did explain, and we'll get into that quickly. But then USA Track and Field, who really got kind of weirdly, and I don't really understand, maybe if someone that's well versed in USA Track and Field politics more than myself could explain this to us, but a lot of the athletes and athletes coaches were really going after USA Track and Field and not Atlanta Track Club.
Not holding the Atlanta Track Club accountable at all.
Oh, no, they were kind of like, it's okay, Atlanta Track Club.
Mistakes happen.
You didn't mean it. Mistakes happen, which, right. I mean, that's fine if that's your take. But then
every year. But
then it was the opposite. The same people had a viscerally aggressive attitude towards USA Track and Field, saying that it was all their fault. And I was a little confused by that because I'm like, does USA Track and Field, do they make the course? Do they force all of these things upon Atlanta Track Club? What's the deal? Why is there so much animosity? They ended up coming out with a statement. They also are making things right, but
they're trying to. Well, there's a world regulation, and that's what they explained is we're bound by the rules of the World Championship.
Yeah.
And those rules require us to follow a certain protocol that we can't just name whoever we want to the world's team because we have this protocol of rules that are passed down from the global governing body. We've now approached them and said, here's what we would like to do. We would like to take the 3 women that went off course, were let off course. We would like to have them go to Worlds. And I think they also want to try and get the other 3 in. So Worlds would have to make an exception.
Yeah.
To allow 6 women from the U.S. instead of just 3. So they're trying. I thought they came out with an amazing statement that basically crushed all this weird criticism and hatred that everyone's had for them.
Yeah.
Because they're basically saying we're trying everything we can, but we can't wave a magic wand.
Yeah.
Which again goes back to I don't understand why people aren't mad at the reason why this has actually happened.
Yeah.
That's the weird part. And then again, we're not in the running world like that, so if there's a history,
if someone knows more than us, please educate us, because now I will say my gut feeling as to why, and this is purely speculation based on research that I've done, so I think the probably what the underlying issue, because you can research a bunch of articles, so I don't have the if you want exact numbers, just go out and research this. But the vast almost 40% of the total revenue that USA Track and Field brings in, which was 40 something $million.
44, you said.
$44 million is going to just 2 executives.
Right.
And so people have issue with that.
So that creates a lot of animosity.
Yeah, and because the stipends for the athletes top out at $12,000.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so when you think about they're asking, most of the athletes live below the poverty line.
So the pro athletes.
Correct.
That are going to world championships, etc.
Yeah.
They're getting 12 grand.
Correct. Caps out at 12. So they might not even they're probably not even getting that.
Okay. I think the argument that you might hear from the board is that we're having record revenue years as a result of their leadership. And if we didn't have these guys, and I don't know, I don't know, but that would be the counter of if we didn't have them, maybe they are uniquely skilled and qualified in raising funds.
Yeah, it could be great fundraisers.
Right, and so maybe that's why they get so much, and maybe they could go somewhere else and make the same amount of money for some other organization and take that ability to raise those funds away. So that could be the argument, but I understand then why there would be some negative view.
Sentiment.
Yeah, negative sentiment
Yeah.
toward them.
So it's kind of
it's crazy to me that track and field doesn't. I guess it's not like, because I think about like UCI, you've got different levels of teams. Those teams have minimum salary requirements. Like there's a lot of regulation in cycling around how much money has to be paid to these athletes, right? So at the highest level, I think the minimum is 6 figures.
Yeah.
It's funny that it doesn't apply to track and field. They don't have that figured out yet.
Yeah, I'm looking at so the average salary for, let's see, the top 10 U.S. athletes for track and field. Top 10 athletes approximately make $50,000 annually.
Wow. That is crazy.
Average professional makes less than $15,000 annually.
Wow. I think that's what it comes down to. And I think that's why they, like Michael Johnson, famously tried to start a pro league. I think people there's no audience there. There's no eyeballs. We always talk about you got to go where the eyeballs are. You got to go where the attention is. It's just not there for track and field. Now,
it doesn't look like there's any regulation around how much teams have to pay their track and field athletes.
Yeah.
And most of it's prize money and then obviously endorsed.
So it's just not a big business. But if you think about the business of running is big.
I know. It's
so where are these brands that are making so much money? I guess they're paying some to wear their shoes.
Some athletes are making millions.
Yeah, they're paying to Kochobe's probably doing very well.
I mean, he's been offered billions of dollars. I mean,
but then it's that next layer, I guess, isn't getting taken care of by them.
I mean, it's similar with cycling too. And I bet if you looked at every other sport.
Well, no, there's 20 World Tour teams.
Yeah.
And every one of those 20 teams has at least 20 guys.
Yeah.
So that's 400. Is that 400? Folks that are making a minimum salary.
Yeah.
That's really good. And then you've got pro tour teams under them.
Yeah.
I don't know how many there are. There's a lot. Then you got Continental. Continental's where it gets sketchy.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's like
gets
that.
sad.
Yeah. We're talking about road cycling.
Yeah.
But then again, gravel racing, there's no regulation. There's no rules, which we're going to talk about next week with our guest.
Yeah. I think it's. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a lot of it when I think about what influences runners to go buy shoes.
It's not pros, huh?
It's not. I mean, it's the Kipchoge's, the elite. I mean, the Olympians essentially.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yeah, I mean, your average. I even think of.
So what's influencing them? Runner's World.
It's
media.
It's media. Yeah, it's media and it's influencers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of running influencers that have never ran a fast marathon a day in their life. They just run like the rest of us, just average marathon times. But because they take the time to create the content, I mean, it's kind of like a Dylan Johnson model. He has a lot more influence on selling bikes and products than a lot of professional athletes that he races with, because he just takes the time to make the content, and people have now decided that they're going to trust his insight. And so there's a lot of running content creators like that too that I just think have more influence. And also, for me, my number one influence are the people I run with. So when I show up to the group run on Wednesdays, I'm looking at what Tunde has, I'm looking at what Camilo has, I'm looking at what Tori, all these people that I run with, they spend a lot of time Chris, they spend a lot of time in the shoe world, way more than I do. And so I kind of look at them and I'm like, oh, what's the new shoe that Tunde has on? Okay, I'm gonna go try that.
Right.
And that's just because I trust them as friends and athletes that I know that they run a lot. I know that they actually run in the shoes a lot.
Yeah.
So I think there's just a lot of local influence for that type of thing.
Huh. That's interesting. I guess it's also really easy just to buy a new pair of shoes versus buying a $12,000 bike.
Well, because if you buy a new bike, you can't really return the bike.
No.
When you buy a bike at a shop, unless there's something structurally wrong, you're committed to it. Whereas shoes, I can buy a $300 pair of shoes and off of Nike. Or I don't know if they're 300, but whatever, their most expensive shoe off of Nike, they have a 60-day return policy. You can wear the crap out of those shoes for 60 days, and if you don't like them, you can return them.
That is crazy.
So it's just a lot easier.
I didn't know that.
There's not as much risk involved. But anyways, I just thought it was interesting, and I'm not agreeing one way or the other on whether or not the CEO should get paid what he's paid. Again, to your point, he could be crushing it with having amazing deals and bringing in sponsorships.
But that could be why we heard so much hate being thrown at USA Track. But it was weird to me I get that. I totally get that argument. I also think USA Track and Field could have come out with a statement much sooner than they did. And their initial statement was very vague. And
well, it was placing the blame back on Atlanta Track. Or like, it's not our problem, it's their problem.
Well, they didn't address whether or not they were going to be able to try to get the athletes into the World Championship. They just said the problems with Atlanta Track Club.
Although they have come out and said that the two women are national championships. We have two national champion half marathoners.
Yeah.
So, which I'm like, I wonder how the girls like really feel about that. You know, everyone's like trying to be super positive and like no one wants to say anything bad about anyone.
I think the girl that technically won, I think she knows. I mean, she knows.
But like, if you were her, would you be like, I don't want the nationals?
I would, yeah.
Like, because I think I'd be like, I don't want it.
But there's financial stakes involved.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
like, there's
it's hard to judge.
Because apparently in all these contracts, if you win the national championship, you obviously get a lot more money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of financial stakes involved. That's why there was so much passion around it.
Yeah, and that makes sense because, you know,
but again,
you don't know what people are...
Then why aren't we mad at Atlanta Track Club?
Yeah.
Like, that was the weird thing. And I guess we should talk about what happened there. Atlanta Track Club came out with a very detailed, and it was such an Atlanta thing to happen.
It was weird. The explanation was...
An officer 1 block over got hit by a car. The officer that was at the critical junction...
Multiple
officers ran over to get their aid to help that officer. He's fine now. But that was effectively why they
left the post and I guess moved all the cones that had been there.
I don't understand the moving the cones.
Because I think they were trying to, if cars need to get through to get
like
to
first
the
responders,
other,
yeah. But again,
but the men's didn't.
The men were the men. It happened to them too. The officer was not there. They went through the course. The car went through the pedestrian bridge. That's not an excuse.
It's just the lead car wasn't paying attention.
The national championship shouldn't depend on one Atlanta police officer standing at a corner.
Yeah.
Right? Like there should be.
Where was the Atlanta Track Club employees?
Exactly.
They've got like hundreds of employees. We're in thousands of volunteers. Where are all the volunteers and employees?
And then they said that the person driving the car thought that they might be rerouting. What? You don't have walkie-talkies? You don't have a cell phone?
And I know the athletes don't have radios, so they have no idea what's going on. But if you don't have radios in the cars communicating, okay, let's just right there, like let's fix that problem.
It was.
It didn't.
I thought it was a bullshit
to me,
excuse.
It felt like a convenient excuse.
Yeah.
Like all these things were happening, and yes, I'm sure it was chaotic, and yes, obviously we want to like give aid to an officer that's injured, but that part aside, I just don't see how like if you're driving the car and they radio in, and they're like, there's an officer down, they're not going to reroute the route with 1 mile to go. Like it just didn't make it didn't
or tell you that they're rerouting.
Yeah, I mean it was just 1 + 1 did not equal 2.
No.
It was very like this, like watch what this hand is doing, so you miss what this hand is doing. That's how I felt in my gut when I'm reading the statement.
Yeah, so Atlanta.
But whatever. It hopefully lessons have been learned.
We didn't get too much hate, I think, from our podcast.
You know what's funny is like most people I run with, they didn't even know what happened. They were like, "What? Like what happened?" Like. So it just tells you that the majority of people aren't even paying attention.
So breaking news, the stage just ended. They were watching stage 2. Luke got 5th, and he maintains his yellow jersey. It was a field sprint. He got boxed in. They actually just showed a highlight right before. There was lots of crashes. Luke hopped a curb, rode over a curb, and then jumped back into the peloton. Classic great bike handling skills there. But another day of yellow. Yellow, green, and white.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Good job, Luke. Do we want to talk about, wrap up with the rest of the weekend activities, which was your birthday?
Yeah. So I did a local trail race on Saturday on my birthday because I was like, I still want to go do something, since we couldn't do Mexico. So it was a trail half marathon. So it was a good time. I got 5th overall, men and women, and 2nd overall female.
Second woman, 5th overall, which means you beat like 100 dudes.
Yeah, so it was fun. It's funny, and I love going to like local events like this because it's not that serious. It's not like I'm not.
That's not true. You showed me a guy that was taking it very serious.
Well, no. I'm saying the women. Like what I was gonna say is I like going to these local events because It's not that serious. And so I always meet the nicest women. Like the girl who beat me, we were together for half the race, and like it was really fun because you actually get to feel that experience of racing people.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you go to like really big events, you definitely don't get
You don't
that.
know what the hell's going on.
You don't know what's going on. There's pros. There's the people are all over the place. But when you go to some, and I think they had like 116 people signed up for this race. So it wasn't like no one was there.
Yeah.
But again, no pros are there. And so it's fun because you get to meet a lot of women just like you that have regular jobs. We're all just in this to like have a good time, but you can actually race. And so it was really fun. Like, to kind of have these tactics. Like the girl who beat me, she attacked like at mile 6 on kind of this like flat straightaway. And
how's the attack go down?
Run faster.
She just ran a little bit.
She was behind me. So I, in the trail races, usually my normal tactic is to just go as hard as I can for the first like couple miles to get out of because
get away from the chaos.
Well, it's not really like chaos. It's more just a lot of times you get on these trails and they're single track and you can't really go around people. So if you're behind, if you start at the back, like you might have to wait 6 miles before you even come to like a clearing or a path that's wide enough to like get around someone.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be that guy, and I say guy because I've literally never had a woman do this to me. I'm not going to be that guy that's yelling like on your left, like bro, you started in the back.
Oh, is that happening?
Yes.
Oh, like it's like a mountain bike race. That's what happens in mountain bike races.
And that's fine, but like that's not my problem.
Yeah.
Like it's not my problem. Like if you started in the back and you didn't like do enough to get out front ahead of time,
yeah,
you being 30 people back on a single track trail yelling on your left because you for some reason think you're stronger than everyone, like bro, it's not happening.
And then they blow up probably anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you tell me, like, what's the etiquette for mountain bike race stuff like that?
I haven't raced mountain bikes in over 20 years, but you certainly could get in a scenario where a guy's on your tail and saying, they would even say, "Can I pass?
Yeah,
can I pass? Can I pass?"
What's your like thought process on letting them pass? Because you don't know if they might blow up and then you're blocked in.
I feel like usually if someone's on you and saying I can pass, it's pretty rare that they then get in front of you and go slow. Like that would be not cool.
Yeah, that happens a lot in trail racing.
They've gotta be. I think maybe it's you. If you're saying that, you've got to be super confident you're going to go faster than this pace.
Yeah, I feel like, and it's way easier to pass on foot. My kind of philosophy on it, and again, people like please grill me and send me comments and tell me I'm totally wrong. Like I love that shit because I want to know if I'm doing something wrong. But when I'm like, let's just take this race for example, if I feel that there's like someone really close to me, I'll sometimes say like, do you want to pass? Mm-hmm. Like I'll yell back and be like, do you want to pass? Because and most of the time they're either like, no, you're going great pace, like let's keep it steady, or like I'll step off for a second and they'll pass and that's fine.
Yeah.
But this past weekend I again went out pretty hard, and I mean within the first 2 miles I looked back and there was like no one. Like they were just like,
that's a great feeling.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. And I knew the 4 guys who beat me, they had taken off really fast. So I was like, you can kind of like know like, oh, okay, they're taking off really fast. I'm going to stay behind them, but I'm not going to like.
They like looked fast.
Like I'm not going to get in front of them. I'm not going to like whatever. You can kind of read the room, I guess, more or less.
Yeah.
And there was also a couple women, and this was a little confusing. So there was 2 women in front of me, so it was 2 loops of the same, 2 loops, but there was people doing a 10K as well. Mm-hmm. And then there was also people doing a 5K. And so the 10K and the half went off first, and they did have different numbers. Like ours started with a 4 and the 10K started with a 7, but they had messed up a few people's numbers and they had started with 3s. So we didn't know like who was who. And so one woman was like, on your left. And she was like flying.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I got over, let her pass. And I'm thinking like, well, damn, if she's doing the half marathon, she deserves to win this thing because she's moving.
Right.
But she was doing the 10K. Okay. So that was a little confusing. But anyways, I have this guy, I come up on him. Mm-hmm. He had obviously gone off really fast. And I have a guy behind me who's like, sounds like he's breathing through like a straw. And then I guess behind him was the other girl that we ended up racing. And so I come up on this guy. He's walking up the hills. None of this, you did not have to walk any of this race.
So he's completely blown apart. Like
it was steep. There were steep climbs, but they were very short. So like I never had to walk. The girl I raced never had to walk. Like if you were fit, You did not have to walk.
Yeah.
And I could see that he was not fit. And so he was walking up the hills. So I say on your left, he like begrudgingly like gets out of my way, even though he's walking and I'm running. And then on the downhill, he's like on my ass. Like literally I can like, if he had tripped or fallen, he would have
taken you down.
Yes, and it were really, really steep downhills. But I was like, I'm not letting him pass me on these downhills because he's just going to walk on the uphills. So I kind of felt weird about it. And I didn't know if I was doing the right thing or the wrong thing by not letting him pass. But I just was like, I'm sorry, I'm not letting you pass. Like, you're going slow on the uphills. Yeah. And so then he said something. I didn't know what he said. But on the next
so you said that to him?
Yeah. I said, you're walking the uphills. I'm not going to let you pass. Like, I'm sorry, but like, you're walking. Yeah. And so he said something. I couldn't really understand what he said. And then when we got to the bottom of the really longer, steep downhill, I saw it was super steep up again. And I just went as hard as I could to get to the top of it. And he just blew up and went out the back. Bye. So then I guess that's when the other girl passed him. Yeah. And at the end, after we were done, she was like, that guy was so close to you. It was like making me uncomfortable. She's like, I almost yelled at him. Like, I didn't understand what he was like on your heels, like on this descent. So weird. It was so strange. Anyway, so then so I had kind of like not blown myself up, but then she was smart because so she stayed on my heels for another few miles. And I didn't know if it was a girl or a guy because I didn't look behind me. And then when we got to this like open field, she just like went hard. And I tried to stay with her, but I didn't know if she was doing the 10K or the half. Oh, right. Because her number was messed up. And so I looked at her number and it said 376 whatever. And so I thought, well, they told us that the 10K was starting with 7, but they told us half marathoners were starting with the number 4. Racial. So what is the 3 number? So then I was like, maybe she's doing the 5K. So if I had known she was doing the half based on her number, I probably would have like tried harder to stay with her. But part of me was like, well, I don't want to blow myself up if she's just going to turn off at the 5K mark, you know? So it was a little confusing. I don't want to make excuses because she deserved, she was awesome. Yeah. And we became friends, exchanged numbers, and yeah.
Another running race organizer, not just doing the normal being organized.
Yeah, it was just weird. I was like, well, I thought, and she's like, I felt bad because like, she's like, I thought about you looking at my number and not realizing I was part of the half marathon
She should have said then.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm running the half.
Yeah, I could have asked her, but it's fine. Not a big deal. It was such a fun weekend.
Still great result. Second, proud of you.
Fun weekend. Yeah. It was a great workout. I'm doing another trail race in Chickamauga this weekend.
You love saying Chickamauga.
19-mile race. What am I supposed to call it?
The
race is called the Cove.
It's a fun word. So that'll be fun. How long is that?
19 miles.
19. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
And so that'll be fun. Yeah. And then we had a lot of really good results on SpeedStudio. So 3 SpeedStudio members went up and did Southern Cross, which is a huge gravel race in the mountains up near Dahlonega. Very difficult, very technical. You got gravel bikes, you got mountain bikes, you got people are doing everything.
Hard.
And so Marcos, he won his age group or got third?
I think he was fourth.
Or fourth his age group.
We got several top 10s.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Alan McDonald, Ryan Marshall, all of them went up there and performed incredibly. So we're super proud of all the SpeedStudio.
Yeah, that's a great job, guys. That's a hard course. We've ridden it many times.
Oof, it's brutal.
And so then did you want to talk about what we did for your birthday?
Yeah. So then we went to a new restaurant in the High Museum called Elise. It's the same owners of Lila, if you are familiar with the restaurant scene in Atlanta.
Chef Craig Richards.
Yes. And it was awesome. Yeah. The vibe was awesome. The food was great. You had the cacio e pepe risotto, which was, I think, the best risotto I've ever had.
Definitely. I'm a big risotto guy. This was awesome.
If there's one thing that...
and I'm a big cacio e pepe guy.
I was going to say, if there's one thing that the chef has dialed in, it's anything cacio e pepe. Because when we went to Lila, we had the cacio e pepe ravioli. Yeah. And that was the best thing we had. So
yeah, that's a good point.
So he's got I think you two share an affinity for cacio e pepe.
We actually have met him a few times. So he was at...
Wait, when did we meet him?
So he was the chef at St. Cecilia. So he worked for Ford Fry Group. And
Squid Ink Pasta.
That used to be our favorite restaurant in the 2012 to 2016 era.
Are they still open?
I think they are, yeah.
Oh.
He was a chef there. Maybe I just met him. I met him when I met with Ford Fry in that group. And then he went briefly to our neighborhood spot, Hampton Hudson. We met him there. I introduced you to him there.
Did he have a beard?
He had a beard.
Okay.
And he wasn't there very long, and then he went and opened Lila, which is amazing.
If you haven't been to Lila, it's really hard to get a reservation.
Yeah.
So, the vibe is so cool, and the food is amazing.
So Elise carries on that.
Yeah.
It's, and I've always said that is a weird, something about Atlanta that's a weird spot. Like, that's a really cool environment, being in the Woodruff Arts Center and the High Museum and having a restaurant there, but it's not easy to get to.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing for Atlantans. Like, they want to just be able to pull their car into the parking lot and walk in. You can't, there's a parking garage.
There's a parking garage, but
it's like being in the city. Like, you've got to find a way to get there.
If people complain about parking, I'm like, get over yourself.
Yeah. So
Take an Uber.
it is a very cool vibe. And then you can walk straight from there, straight into the Alliance Theater or the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, which is what we did.
And so we had an amazing dinner and then went to the Symphony, Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. I don't understand why. Like, what is it the orchestra? Is it the symphony? Is it all the same?
I don't know. I'm sure there's a rule there.
And it was amazing.
I was blown away.
Blown away.
Yeah.
It was like,
and it was a solid 2 hours.
Yeah, it was long. Because the first half, they had a really famous pianist, basically, who's like the star of the show, while the symphony is like, the orchestra is like supporting him. And then at halftime, at the intermission, we all went out, got re-upped on the wine, came back in, and then it was just the orchestra. And it was, I like teared up. That's how amazing it was. And I've been to a lot of, it was funny, like growing up, I feel like my parents took us to stuff like that all the time. Like we always went to the opera or the ballet or the symphony or like a plays. Like we always did like creative arts things. Like that was just what we did growing up.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed that I hadn't been to the Atlanta Symphony before. It was, I cannot recommend it enough. It's not astronomically expensive to go to. There's lots of ticket options.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it doesn't even really matter where you sit because the sound is so amazing.
Yeah.
So it was great.
When they're doing the warm up thing and then like the first chair dude like stands up and then they all do the same note together.
Yeah.
And then it starts.
It's so amazing.
And the precision of all of the instruments playing together, and you're watching them, and you have your violins, your little violins, and you're watching people at the very peak of their profession.
Yeah,
like this is all they do.
Yeah,
and to see, it's just like when watching World Tour cycling or top tier runners, like to see them perform at that level was I was not anticipating being blown away, and I was blown away.
It was so great, and everyone was so nice that worked there. And you know, we both noticed it. It was funny. The people who are in the orchestra, when they're coming in before they start playing anything, everyone's kind of trickling in at different times. They're getting to their seats. They're getting everything set up. They all were so happy.
So happy.
Like laugh. Like it was like the happiest group of people.
Yeah.
I've ever, and I'm like, man,
they're so happy to be doing what they love.
They love their coworkers.
Yeah.
Like they love their job. Like this is like, how can we capture this as a culture? And clearly so did a little bit of research, but the conductor, she's, I guess, one of only 2 women in history to ever lead a professional orchestra in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. She's tar?
Yeah. That took me a minute. And she was amazing. I mean, it's.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyways,
it was Beethoven, right? Is that what they?
They played a lot of different songs, but yeah, that was the majority of it. And it was so good. It was so good, which leads me into. Sorry, did you have to say something?
The one thing I thought was really weird for our symphony fans, the wine, they give you wine in a metal cup.
That was with a koozie.
With a koozie.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. They must have like people just drop and break stuff constantly.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They don't want you dropping the metal cup.
Yeah.
During the orchestra. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I just answered my own question.
Yeah.
I was so perplexed. I was looking at it almost like how the piano guy would look at the piano. He's so perplexed and in love with what he's doing.
Yeah.
Which I also said.
He was a character.
I also said, remind me of Alan McDonald looking at an old fashioned, and you couldn't get, you started laughing. And you couldn't get it out of your mind because the guy did look like Alan McDonald looking an old fashioned.
It made me so angry that you said that, because then when I was trying to watch him, I kept thinking of Alan, and I just kept laughing and you can't laugh because you're supposed to be quiet.
I know there's some listeners that know exactly what I'm talking about right now, but the guy literally was looking at the piano like Alan looks at an old fashioned.
It was also like, I think you said it was like what you imagine Alan doing in surgery.
Yes, so like just loving what he does.
Just loving the profession of it.
Oh God, it was so funny.
It was, yeah. No, it was a good time, and they gave good pours. The wine.
They did,
They weren't stingy on the pours.
No, everyone was super.
So I love wine. Like, I think like it was probably the oldest. Like if you're talking about like the average age of people that I spent
I felt young
on my birthday, I felt really young at Elise and at the Symphony.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
There's some characters
I was
at
like,
Elise.
these are my people.
These are
I'm meant
like
to be 85 years old.
The people at Elise. I imagine they live in Ansley Park
in like those giant mansions.
And they are art connoisseurs and
patrons of the
arts, and this is what they do every weekend.
There was a couple,
all dressed up, like, and they're like matching and like wearing like super fashionable, like probably stuff that they had from the 80s. And you can just see like this is their whole life.
Yeah.
Coming to the Woodruff Arts Center on the weekend and going to this dinner and going to a play or a symphony or something.
It's not a bad life.
No, it was pretty cool. It's not a crowd we ever see.
No, but I want to be around them more. I like this couple walked in. And they knew everyone at Elise. Like they were like,
I know, I felt left out.
I know. I was like, oh, like popular.
Yeah.
And they're probably in their 80s easily.
Yeah.
And they matched, like you said, like they were both wearing yellow. And the woman had like the most amazing like yellow kind of like suit. It sounds weird because yellow sounds like a weird color, but it was cool.
It was like a light pastel yellow.
Yes, and she had her like little like her brooch that I'm sure cost $1 bazillion in her back, and they were just like so like uniquely stylish, and they matched, and it was just the cutest thing I've ever seen. And he ordered his drink and she ordered a glass of wine, and I was sitting there like looking at them, and I was like, that's gonna be us one day, hopefully. And I wondered if
he had a martini,
and I wondered if they looked at us and thought that was us a long time ago.
They were looking at us.
Like,
well, we matched too, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. Like, I wonder if like they recognize, like swag
game recognizing game.
Yeah, game recognizes game. Just like maybe like
I think they also were like, who are these people in our restaurant that we don't know?
Could be.
I'm
going back.
It's like us going to like Del Bar, not knowing people.
I want to be a local, like I want to be in that scene with the old people. Because I can talk about art.
Yeah.
I can talk about music.
Okay.
Talk about good food. Like I complain about, like, oh, I have a really hard time meeting people I can talk about art, food, and music with.
There you go.
I'm looking in the wrong age.
Octogenarians.
I'm looking in the wrong age bracket.
Yeah. I think that, stay tuned, folks. We might start, maybe we'll have an octogenarian guest soon from the Woodruff Arts Center.
Anyways, I could not recommend the most wholesome, fun in Atlanta. Definitely string those two together. And
cool.
We were supposed to go to the High Museum before we went to dinner, but I was so tired from the trail race that I had to take a nap.
Yeah, I forced her to take a nap because I want her to fall asleep during the symphony.
But you thought I was going to fall. It was so good. I never even got tired.
Yeah, I know.
That's how good it was.
We're lucky it was so good.
Yeah.
Because I could have fallen asleep too.
I mean, I pretty much fell asleep on the Uber ride home.
Yeah, you did.
And you know what? Okay, also one thing. If you look at the reviews for Elise, it has like 4 stars instead of 5. And I was like, why? Like the people who worked there were amazing. Everyone was so nice. Like the vibe was cool. Then I look through the reviews, and I want to say this because I don't want people listening to this to go on the review and be like, oh, it only has 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
It's all complaining about the price point and the parking. And I'm like, okay. Clearly, I don't think if you live outside the city, you should not be able to review things inside the city.
Oh, new rule.
Because if you're complaining...
So you're saying people that complain about those 2 subjects clearly live outside the perimeter.
Yes, because they were like, oh, the price is so expensive.
What did you expect?
Have you been to any restaurant, any upscale restaurant?
It actually wasn't even that expensive.
I think for the whole dinner, it was like $230 for both of us, which again, there's a lot of people out there that'd be like, oh my God, I would never spend that. But if you go to restaurants in cities, Miami, New York, Atlanta, wherever, LA, $230 for 2 people for a nice
for a
dinner.
Very nice multi-course dinner, yeah.
Which included alcohol.
Yep.
In that. That's actually really good. And so for people saying, oh, it's just overpriced, I'm like, it is.
It's the same price as every other restaurant in the city.
It's not overpriced. It's just the same price as the rest of all the restaurants in the city, which are all priced fairly high because rent is really high and talent is really expensive. So discount that. And also, if you're complaining about parking, that's not the restaurant. Like, what are you talking about?
I know.
Like,
weird.
You're gonna give the restaurant a bad review because
all the people working so hard.
Yes.
To make.
What is wrong with you?
To make the best tuna tartare I've ever had in my life with a pickled strawberry.
Yeah.
Never even knew that existed.
Me either.
You're gonna give that guy a bad rating because you parking lot?
Yeah. But anyways, it was such a great weekend. So.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you had an awesome birthday.
Yeah.
So you got that race, and then again, we talked about you're going to do the Sonoma Trail 50K.
Which I don't know if you saw, Jeff Smock, another member of SpeedStudio and friend of the pod, he said he hasn't done that race, but he heard it is a really fast one because it's rolling. So
it's exciting.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be a good day for me.
Yeah. You want to talk about LA Marathon?
Yeah, real quick. We had some friends go out to the LA Marathon. Looked like a good time, except for the fact that
former guest of the pod.
Yeah, former guest of the pod, Johnny Person. He
ran back-to-back
marathons. I feel like he's gonna get like real deep into triathlon soon. Anyway, so they went out there. Looked like an influencer-filled weekend. But what really stole the show of social media was the fact that the guy who is going, the professional, and I'm not going to even try and say names because I don't feel like looking it up right now, but the guy who was about to win the LA Marathon, as he was literally hundreds of feet from...
He was going to grab the tape.
He was about to grab the tape, and the other guy behind him beat him by 0.01 seconds.
The guy that came from out of nowhere looked like he just like came from off the sidelines. He was running so much faster.
Yeah.
And he was American, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was American. And it was like literally like Jean Paul just came out of the crowd and was running and ran the guy down like it wasn't Seinfeld. But that's something that's interesting because in cycling, when guys are winning by themselves, you're so paranoid.
Yeah,
like
you constantly look back.
Behind.
Yeah.
This guy never looked behind.
Yeah,
he never.
No, that's happened in cycling before, where they come across and like celebrate, and they're like beat by the other guy.
Well, yeah, that's usually like they're all coming together. But like when you're like by yourself, normally they're super paranoid.
Yeah, it happens.
But that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
the guy just crumpled.
I feel terrible. He went into full plank. Like, do you remember? You know, it's so funny. I was thinking about over the weekend, my sister-in-law texted me on behalf of our nephew.
That's my sister, by the way.
Yes. No, it's my other husband's sister. Text us on behalf of our nephew who's 10, and said, Jude says 676767, like, which is, what all the kids are saying. And it means
because of your birthday.
It means nothing. Yeah. And then also happy birthday.
Yeah.
And it means nothing. And so I responded and said, tell Jude 6 is scared of 7 because 7, 8, 9.
Where did you get that from?
And she literally responded hysterically laughing and said, Jude said, oh, Aunt Nikki got me again. But that wasn't the actual point of the story. My point is, it got me thinking about what were the weird things that we did as kids that adults were like, why are they doing this? What does it mean? Like, you're psychoanalyzing things. Planking. That was a really big thing when I was a kid.
What?
Was planking on regular items. So if you're my age or if you're a millennial, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Planking on regular items.
Yes. So there was this thing where you would lay down on let's just say a table, for example. You would lay down on a table face down with your arms to your side and your legs, like a plank.
Oh, but not actually doing a plank
no,
in the gym, to work out your abs.
No workout involved. Just plank. It was called planking. And you lay down on your stomach with your arms at your side and your face flat down. And you would do it on random objects. So it got out of control to the point where people were planking on a bridge, thousands of feet in the air. It was a whole thing for a while. And it drove adults crazy. Because
I missed this.
Yeah, it drove the adults crazy because they're like, what does it mean? Why are they doing this? And there was no meaning behind it. And so my point stay with me. So the point in saying that is because at the end of the marathon, when he goes to grab the ribbon, he just planks. He falls down and he just hands at the side, face to the ground, planks. And I was like, I wonder if he's like a millennial.
He just couldn't believe it. Like it was like out of a movie.
Oh, I felt so bad.
So incredible. It was so crazy.
So that was my really long. Just go back and watch the video. You'll know what I mean. What else?
Is that everything we got?
Oh, a couple more pop. I'll just throw in some last minute thoughts on pop culture. Harry Styles. So he just released a new album. There was a pop-up just to buy swag. And
by our office.
The line was studio. Like, I thought there was a new Jenny's ice cream flavor because the line was so long. And no, they were going to say Harry Styles. So I'm not a not Harry Styles fan. I've just never really listened to his music too much. I did feel the need to listen to this new album. It's so good.
Really? I've heard the one song. I heard the first song.
It is so good.
Yeah.
Because it's so different than all his other music.
That's what I heard, yeah.
It reminds me of, for me, it felt nostalgic because it sounded like the Postal Service, who we had just talked about in their heyday.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like weird, ethereal ambiance, but also is like very like emo / indie rock, I don't know, fusion.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it. It sounds very similar to the Postal Service. If like the Postal Service and Brand New and all of those bands that I was obsessed with in middle school and high school like came together, kind of has that vibe. And I think Harry Styles is the same age as me, so I was like, maybe he was trying to invoke that nostalgia that maybe he has too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, I've heard it. It's good.
It's very vibey.
Got good. Yeah.
What did the How Long Gone guys say about it?
Chris is a Harry Styles fan, and I think he said he liked it.
Okay.
Jason, I don't think has commented on it.
Yeah.
But I am more perplexed by the people that stood in the line all weekend on the Beltline. It's like the line was a mile long.
And it was pouring rain.
Like pouring.
They all looked like wet rats.
Cats and dogs, and they're just standing there in line. We thought it was a meet and greet just to buy merch.
Yeah, just to buy merch.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Every day.
And he's having these pop-ups
Friday,
all
Saturday,
over.
and Sunday.
Yeah.
People stood in line the entire day in the rain to get merch.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's dedication.
Yeah.
I've never wanted merch that bad ever.
No. Next week, we will have a guest if all travel arrangements come to fruition. You'll be very excited about it. We're going to talk a lot about cycling. We're going to talk a lot about gravel. And I'm excited.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this episode. If you have feedback, feel free to reach out to us via email, comment on the podcast.
Nikki, reach out to Nikki.
Via Instagram, and that's pretty much the only way you can get me unless you have my personal number. And yeah, we love feedback. So if you have more information on like the things we talked about, we'd love input.
Speed-studio.com is the website. SpeedStudio Global on Instagram. Follow us everywhere.